Welcome to another episode of the Catalogue.
You're saying stuff like that. You're saying stuff like that straight at the gate. That's just ruining all the editing that I'm gonna have to do because you're knocking out all the levels out of the park.
Welcome to the Back Catalogue Speedcast. This is the Speedcast where we speed through our podcast because Apo is late. And by we, I mean me, Apo, my co-host / co-founder Vincent. We dive into the streaming service. We tell you, the listener and the viewer, what is worth it and what is not. And Vincent, we're doing 2022's very own, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
I think we've got to rename our podcast. So I think it's got to be like the chriscast or something.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a Christmas special for December.
Yeah, we've got to do Christmas special.
Every podcast in December is just going to be Christmas things.
But we can't call it chriscast because then we're thinking like, I'm Chris, you're Chris. You know, everybody hates Chris because no one listens to this podcast.
But we could be Chris for just like, we just call each other Chris for the entirety of December.
I mean, we could do that. Maybe.
I mean, that's just a different form of content.
Maybe we'll just do that.
Let's just do that.
All right.
So this has got the 7.2 out of 10 on the IMDb. It's got 90% on the Rotten Tomatoes. Vincent, we're here. Star-Lord, Drax, Rocket, Mantis, and Groot engage in some spirited shenanigans.
I mean, that's false straight off the bat.
I mean, they're not all really that involved.
I mean, it's only Mantis and Drax. That's it.
It's only Mantis and Drax. Vincent, let's just get into this, man.
Let's just get into how Mantis and Drax have too much of a role in this. They're not characters that I want to see for 45 minutes. You know what I mean?
Well, this is the case of you're doing a 45-minute Christmas special. You can't blow the budget. So you just got to get Bautista and you got to get the actor that plays Mantis to come in because they cost less than Chris Pratt.
Clementif.
That's right. They're costing less than Chris Pratt out here in these streets.
That's right.
You got Kevin Bacon's. You got to do your fundings elsewhere. You can't have it all. Chris Pratt.
I mean, they got Kevin Bacon's very own.
I mean, but Kevin Bacon seems like the sort of guy that would be like, I'll do it because like my kids love it, you know?
Yeah, him and Bill Murray.
Yeah, Bill Murray, he's got other things going on in his background. We won't talk about Bill Murray.
Okay, we don't have to talk about Bill Murray.
You know, Bill Murray, the type of guy to be on the Back Catalogue podcast because he got so cancelled. This is the only podcast he can get onto. You know?
Oh no, that's a shame. Well, I mean,
no, he's not at that level. He's not at that level yet. No. Okay. We could get some people on though. If we really went into the trenches of like cancellation, we could get some heads on the podcast.
We could get some heads on the podcast. I mean, we could. Maybe we'll do it.
Yeah. Hey, dude, can I tell you something about Kevin Bacon's really quickly?
What?
He's been married to the same person from 1988. You don't see that in Hollywood.
I mean, you don't see that in Hollywood. That's a Christmas miracle. But, I mean, that's because actors suck, you know?
But to just talk about the hits and the misses for you in this Back Catalogue Spookcast.
All right, this movie made me dislike the Guardians of the Galaxy. Bro, this is not what I need to see. I get that it's all, this is a lovely, Christmas whatever, and it's fine, and we'll make it all kids. And this is absolute Disney influence. Because Disney will do this. Disney will take characters the heads love.
That's disfluence.
That's disfluence. Yeah. That's disfluence. They'll take heads that you love, they'll put them in a special, and then it'll be wholesome, which is fine. But I personally don't think that I want to see that from Marvel.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I liked about it and the thing that I didn't like about it sort of fall into the same picture. What I liked about it is that, you can get it. The cool thing about comic books is you can get characters from the comic universe and you can do anything with them. The thing that I didn't like about it is the fact that you had the opportunity to have the Guardians of the Galaxy do anything Christmas related and they went to Earth and got Kevin Bacon's.
Which is
they could have done some wild stuff. It's a funny premise, but they could have gone wild because they're the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're not Earth. They're not on Earth all the time.
Yeah, I think what made me dislike this more than the actual concept of having heads from the MCU do MCU things, not in the mainline movies or whatever, like these specials. I think my issue was that it wasn't good. I didn't enjoy it. There were just dumb things like, Dave Bautista's doing Dave Bautista things, and that's fine. You know, he can say like things don't go over my head, I'll catch them. He can say that.
Yeah.
But if you got him saying that, similar things to that, for 45 minutes, I don't want to hear that. It's too much. And you know the whole Mantis. Oh my God, he's my brother. Oh, I need to get him a great gift. And at the end, crying like, oh, because I'm your sister. And then Peter Quill's, you know, going like, that's the only thing I ever wanted. Like, this is amazing or whatever. Which is, you know, that's great. But I just feel like they did it just because, hey, we got these characters. Like, this is how we make money. This is how we have people on Disney Plus.
This is how you push the needle, like to the new generation of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if we look at this movie, I think that it was wholesome. When I look at it, and I think when it comes to Christmas and the back catalogue chriscast, the chriscast where we are called Chris, will we watch a movie like this again? No. This, in regards to like great Christmas movies, doesn't fit the bill. What it does fit into, though, is the fact that there's so much Christmas content out there that having a short 45-minute piece of Christmas content is a good idea. I think that it also does a good job of somewhat, mostly towards the end, actually showing Christmas things.
Yeah.
And, you know, you put that in the back of a Christmas party. You got a Christmas party for work. You know, you got Glühwein. You're doing all sorts of Christmas
that's what I was
things.
thinking. I was thinking this is not the thing that you can put in the background of a Christmas party. You can't put this.
This is right.
There were
because it didn't have enough.
It didn't have enough. It didn't have enough Christmas stuff, but it was also not. You know, like obviously it was aimed at kids. It's rated PG. There was a bit of minor swearing, which I don't care about. But you've got this aimed at kids, and it's very more so aimed at younger people than the regular movies. But you still got heads like beating the snot out of people and killing heads and doing like all this stuff. Like, because I feel like they're trying to do something, but then they're not committing to it. If you want to do something wholesome, do something wholesome. Don't have Drax like damn near killing all these police officers.
I saw no issue with that.
No, I've got issues with that. I've got issues with that.
Because this is the back catalogue speedcast. Because this is the back catalogue speedcast, we can't really get into the reason that I didn't have many issues with that. But one of the reasons is because it's Drax. His whole thing is like, I like fighting people.
Yeah, that's right.
Bring me Thanos,
that's fine. That's what I'm saying. It's fine in a movie. I think personally, it's fine in the movies because that's what they do. But this is something that is very clearly not targeted at the same audience as the movies.
That's fine. What I think this shows, because I'm not getting into that conversation because we could just be back and forth here for
we could, but at the end of the day, you like violence. I don't like violence as much.
Yeah, but look, I'm not going to get into it in regards to like what is considered violence these days in this day and age. You know, we're living in a state of decay, one or two, like either of the games we're living in it. But here's the thing that I want to talk about specifically. Marvel are at a point in which they got KPIs to meet. There's key performance indicators, and those indicators are getting out content. And this is why we're getting content like this. Content that is just fine, doesn't progress the plot. It is just there to be there, so people are watching nothing but Marvel things.
Yeah.
And you know what you get out of that, Vincent? Fatigue.
And mediocrity.
And I'm at a point of... And mediocrity. I'm at a point of fatigue, and we've been mediocre since we started the back catalogue, so I'm at a point of mediocrity as well. This is the Spookcast, this is the Speedcast, this is the Chriscast.
Yeah,
and that's what we do here.
Few things that I wrote down while I was doing this. The starting off song that they did in Nowhere, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
That was funny.
I enjoyed that because there were things in there that, you take them literally and it's funny. But it's not what they mean figuratively.
Because like they're all doing Drax things, especially when that man's arm just starts doing like his rubber arm. Like if you told that guy you're going to the pub on Friday, like you wouldn't have to pull his arm because it's rubber.
Like in one of the verses, he said like, "What is a turtle dove?"
This is the question. Like, I mean, you look at nursery rhymes, you look at Christmas songs. What is anything?
You've got no idea.
What is a tuffet?
I'm thinking a turtle with wings.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like Santa Claus knew about Mario, and he knew that there'd be turtles with wings one day, so he made that song with turtle doves. He knew they were Coopers.
Yeah. And then
I thought that was fine.
What?
I liked Groot just looking like a jacked, like maybe 21-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny.
Like that was just hilarious. Like, how much did Vin Diesel get paid to be that Groot?
I mean,
Like,
he would have had
to
to put in the
Groot.
work at the gym.
Did you know that within his contract, like, he comes in for every movie and says Groot?
Bro,
that's money.
Vin Diesel, the top dude, to be like, hey, Groot needs to put on, 150 pounds for this movie, and Vin Diesel will go and do it. And there'll be paparazzi shots being like, oh, Vin Diesel's getting jacked for this new role. And then you find out the new role is saying I am Groot, like rocking up to the studio saying I am Groot and going home.
Yeah. I mean, it's a wild world we live in, but the reality is it's Vin Diesel's world. It's his world.
Vin Diesel's world.
And we've been living in it since Fast and the Furious 1.
But is that a sequel, or what do you call it when there's more than one?
When there's more than one, man, to be honest with you, I don't know if it's a sequel or a prequel, but it's something in between those things. But Vincent, I'm going to give this movie because I'm assuming we're wrapping this up. We'll just do a 15-minute.
Oh no, we can keep going. Like, we got things to talk about.
Okay, you got time because
I got
I
time.
was late to this because I was doing the opposite of speed casting. I was just driving normal speeds on roads.
That's right.
But I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I like, a couple of things that I didn't like.
Tell me some things.
I think the premise of it being we're going to steal Kevin Bacon, fine and dandy. As I said before, I think that it could have been something more fantastical, but these are just like pieces of content that they just need to get out there. That's all they're doing, right? Here is the issue that I had. When you think about this movie, you step back and you think about it. A large portion of it is them at Kevin Bacon's house chasing Kevin Bacon.
Mm.
And that got old real quick.
Yeah, one thing that was, Mantis fighting was real cool.
When she's jumping through, like...
Yeah, but when she was jumping, chasing after Kevin Bacon, bro, that was kind of terrifying. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
If you've got that in a horror movie, that's terrifying. Because Mantis looks a bit crazy with the big-ass eyes.
Yeah. And that obviously that's what it's meant to be, to show like the true fear that a regular human being would have if they hit you up with like, hey, I'm here, but also like there's a thing with tentacles running at me.
Yeah.
In my humble abode. I think that could this have been simply a straight up like fish out of water, Mantis and Drax, they're just in the city doing city things, drinking beers, all that kind of stuff. They meet Kevin Bacon along the way. They do Kevin Bacon things. They come back and they tell Peter Quill's story about how they saved the town dancing with Kevin Bacon. That's a better movie right there.
I'll probably agree with you.
Because I really enjoyed the part where they're walking through LA and they've got all the people in costumes.
Yeah.
And like Drax just beats the living snot.
Bro, that was hilarious because you had that at the start. So there were good parts in this thing. I just think the package deal.
It didn't come together.
But yeah, that was hilarious when Drax was getting mad at this dude dressed up as a robot. And then Mantis is like, a robot killed his cousin or something. And then Mantis is taking selfies with heads on Hollywood Boulevard, and just in the background, like Chris said, Drax just beating the snot out of this dude who's got a traffic cone on his head because he's a robot.
Yeah. Dude, I think the back catalogue chriscast is going to be good because there will be people that watch our videos for the first time during Christmas and they'll think our names are Chris. Because like we tend to get like more views during like periods like Halloween or Christmas when we do movies related to those times. So there's going to be heads that hear back catalogue chriscast. They're going to be like, oh dude, these guys are Chris.
And they're going to whip out 1st of January. They're like, hold on.
I mean, new year, new me is what we're going to say.
I mean, this is a chriscast where and I'm going to give that movie a 3.5 out of 10.
Yeah, this one here?
Yeah.
3.5 out of 10. Yeah, I think if you were to consider this as being a present that you see under your Christmas tree, this is when someone grabs the present, they put it in the bag, they don't even wrap it up. They just put your name on the side so you know it's yours. There's no card, there's no nothing. It's just a present, not wrapped properly. It did not come together. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10.
And then
in regards to wholesomeity, like how wholesome this is, that's an A.
I don't even think it's that wholesome, really.
You know, it's like, hey, you know, we're doing friendly things, but we're also we don't know what we're talking about. We're
probably
degenerates.
Like a 5, because they only tacked on that bit at the end. Oh my God, you're my sister.
Yeah, but I think the wholesomeity comes from the fact that these people are trying to help out. The whole sister thing, I got caught up in a bad conversation about the sister thing, because I said I had no issues with that, and I said that, you know, Mantis. It makes sense that Mantis is his sister, given that Ego was just going planet to planet like planting seeds.
Yeah.
And the way that I presented it was not that way. So people, when I said I had no issue with it, people thought I had no issue with like just a man that looks like, what's that man's name again?
Russell Westbrook.
I always call him like Keith Urban. Yeah. What's his name? Kurt Russell. You know, there's a man looking like Kurt Russell just going planet to planet and just planting seeds with a whole bunch of alien-like creatures. That's what people assumed I was saying.
That's not the thing you had no issue with.
That's not what I had no issue with. But like, if you have no issue with that, get off this, man. Get off this cast, because we ain't presenting to you.
Oh,
you know?
Also, one thing that I did notice, you know, when you know they're doing all the Christmas things in nowhere, and they're going, "Hey, Peter Quill, it's Christmas." Yeah. Why does every head, as soon as they realise it's snowing, start spinning around?
Because I mean, you see snow, you spin.
But what I would spin, I would stand still and put my hands out. That's probably what I'd do. Why would you spin?
I mean, given the state of the world right now, that could be fentanyl, like in the snow. You know what I mean? Like, it's popping up everywhere. So like, they might have been spinning because like they just lost control.
Bro, that's something I'll never get about humanity. Why heads want to spin when they're in the snow?
Look, I've been in the snow several times. I haven't spun once.
That's what I mean. So is a society that is dictating that we should spin?
I think society is saying, like, you've seen this in your favourite Christmas movie, now you can be your Christmas movie.
No, I'm not about that.
But society also don't realise that this is the back catalogue chriscast, and this is the cast where we finish it in a couple of minutes.
Bro, big spin. Big spin wants us to spin. They plant seeds. They got product placement. Because that's it is. It's not product placement anymore. It's like movement placement. That's how they get you. You're not seeing Coca-Cola on the stand. You're saying like the way that they're grabbing it. That's the actual product placement.
We've talked about things in our personal life that I'm going to bring into this life right now. Is that the quality of products has decreased. A lot of the reason why people go to places is so they can get the picture that's been on Instagram. You know, you set up a restaurant and you have a killer like mural out the front. You could serve them dog poo on a plate, and they'll come there and they'll take the photo and they'll be like, "Bro, this is the best place I've ever been."
You just serve them smackos. You just serve them schmackos, and they'll be all over Instagram. They'll be like, "Bro, this is dog food, but look at this great picture I got. It tastes even better."
You serve them schmackos and you just smack them in the face, and they're going to be like, "Bro, this is the best thing I've ever experienced because look at this wall."
Yeah, but that's because they'll go there for the experience. They'll be like, "Bro, there's no other restaurant you can go and get smacked in the face."
I mean, for a lot of people like to get smacked, is all I'm saying. Like, I've been to places and people like to get smacked. But this ain't the Back Catalogue Smackcast. This is the Back Catalogue Podcast.
Yeah, let's wrap it up, Chris.
We're going to wrap it up. Hey, Chris, thanks over there, Chris. Just remember, if you like the Back Catalogue Chriscast, follow us wherever you get your podcasts, and also just click the links down below to find everything else. Hey, listen. That was the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, or holiday special. And this has been the Back Catalogue Chriscast.
Chris soon.
Talk soon. Yes, Chris.
Yes, Chris. Chris.